Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Presidency, White Tinubu is best man for the job by Akure. Women rally for Tinubu Shetima Sanwo-Olu in Lagos. Nigeria others tackling exchange rate crisis, says World Bank. Mbaka not moved, says Catholic Church. Ohaneze against violent agitation. Jericho Power set to sell 250 billion naira shares. NDLEA seizes 8.8 billion naira worth of tramadol pills in a raid of Lagos mansion. Alaafin stole 9 ruling houses to present 1 candidate. UNILAG to get new vice-chancellor by Friday. And I am not a social media freak, says Kokanso. All right, which story are we starting with?
NDLEA. So the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has recovered over 13 million pills of tramadol worth 8.86 billion from a mansion belonging to a suspected billionaire drug baron Ugochukwu Nsofo Chukwukadibia in VGC, that's Victoria Garden City. So according to the NDLEA spokesman, Femi Babafemi, he said that the arrest was because they got information and then they had, sworn into the compound to do a search and ended up finding 443 cartons of tramadol and hydrochloride, 225 gram, and that contained 13,455,466 pills of the drug, and said some of the cartons were already burnt in the fire at the time. They also, from investigations, realized that is one of the people behind the cartel, the drug cartel in Nigeria, and he had about 6 buildings, 6 mansions in VGC, using one for office, one for himself, and the other places. And aside from that, in Kaduna State as well, the agency arrested 121 suspected drug traffickers and sealed 13 properties belonging to a whole lot of them. So they went round the different cities. They had people in Kabala, Costain, Kawo, Numba, Zango, Zaria City, Sabongeri, Nupe Street, and Unguwa Mauzu. They've just been going around and they've been arresting, and said out of the 121 suspects, 13 were females included. Well done, NDLEA.
Fantastic.
What I like about it is that they are going for the
big people.
Not the small fry. Because
the lords.
They will still get more. They are going where the source. They're going to the source.
Yes.
And
that's amazing.
That's where they will succeed, because they're going to the source. I wanted to talk about the ruling house. The
Alaafin stool.
The Alaafin stool. There are 9 families who have come together and they are complaining to the Traditional Council that they have chosen their own person, or they want to choose their own person that will ascend the throne, that they have been marginalized all these years, that the Agunloye and Alowolodu ruling houses are the ones that have been taking turns in ascending the throne. So now that they should please come together and let's play it fair, that it's their turn.
So there was a rally yesterday. Did you take one? Go ahead.
No, go on.
So there was a rally yesterday in Lagos, more like a walk. It was a 2 million women march for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's the flag bearer for APC. And it was a 2 million women march. It was pretty, I think they went from Tinubu Square all the way down to VI. And the governor of Lagos State and his vice president also went to meet them at, I think it was Tafawa Balewa Square. And they said that the rally was devoid of abuse, was devoid of hate speech, was devoid of intolerance. It was one rally that was fair to all and nobody felt trampled upon. It was a rally of expressing their views. And I must also use the opportunity to say that Peter Obi also had a rally on Saturday, October 1st. And they walked also from Lekki, passed through the toll gate, and it was also well attended. So I'm happy that so far in Lagos State, last weekend, we've seen 2 big rallies happen in Lagos State, and there was no record of violence, no records of arrest.
Yeah.
The police was there to secure the people. So we can't have rallies, we can't have walks without any violence. So as long as we stick to the rules, everybody will go home happy and safe. And I think that was a good indication that our people are listening, and we must always stick to obeying and abiding the laws of the land.
So the Geregu power plant, one of the Gencos that we have, and is assumed or rumored to be owned by Femi Otedola, is looking to expand, and so they're trying to raise 250 billion naira from the stock exchange. So they're listing this company at the stock exchange for ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at 100 introductory price of 100 naira per share. They are looking to raise about 2.5 billion ordinary, sell 2.5 billion ordinary shares to raise 250 billion. And this is supposed to help expand the company. That company was supposed to have been acquired, that Genco, during the privatization in 2013. And recently, they are coming into the stock exchange to raise more funds. I'm hoping that when we deal with power generation, which is not supposed to be an issue, we can then deal with power distribution as well. So that issue of the middleman, which continues to prevail, would be dealt with this kind of expansion. And I also saw that the issue of power and problems of power generation and distribution is across all East African countries. I watched Ghana yesterday. There's a channel, that focuses on Ghana news, and I was shocked that the entire day, get another thing.
Talking about
power distribution.
Let's move on to the Punch very quickly. PDP crisis, BOT convenes emergency meeting to rescue Atiku's campaign. Syndicate denies injecting child beggars. Police hunt doctor. NDLEA boss billionaire drug baron recovers mansion, seizes 8 billion naira worth of tramadol. U.S. flew Oyo Hotelier killed by herdsmen home for bearer, says family. Debt servicing on Nigeria's Eurobonds rises by 86%. Over 400 fleeing Kuje inmates still at large. Scientists who extracted DNA from 40,000-year-old bones wins Nobel Prize. Campaign Buhari Tinubu Shetima's wives receive appointment letters.
Okay, so the human interest story, the syndicate. So, remember the rumor on them, this syndicate that was arrested along Kirikiri. They were supposed to be using ointments to make kids look, that they have ailments, to have swollen tummy and all of that. And the police are investigating, but the suspects are saying, no, that's not what they're doing. They said that these kids sincerely, honestly have health issues and that they went to their villages and brought them from Abakaliki. They brought them, Mungozi Chukwu is the founder of that foundation. She insists that those kids are really sick and their parents are aware that they've been brought to Lagos to raise funds for treatment because they can't afford it. This is her story. But even that in itself is questionable. But the police are investigating it. They've learned that, they have kids of between 11 to 13 years held there. They have other suspects that were arrested who are also part of the syndicate, Uchenna Eze, Oyedika Chukwu Isiala, Ike Chukwu Kingsley, and Smart Alasuomu. And these people are supposed to be the ones, as members of that foundation, who carry the kids out for begging. Right. I think that they should audit whether how much has been raised, whether any of the children is in any medical facility taking treatment, and if not, they are being abused. All right, let's move on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. BC had a story?
Yes. So Ayorinde Owolabi, who is the brother of a hotelier, late Olubenga Owolabi, has said that the United States of America gave the Nigerian government a time frame to find the killers. The report had said that he was killed with a worker in his hotel, was abducted by gunmen, and after a few months was killed. He was killed, I think they killed him August 3rd. And this Olubenga is a citizen of America who's living in Maryland. He decided to come back to the country to invest in hospitality, and he built a hotel. And just a few months after he had launched a hotel in December, he was killed. So there's a lot of investigations going. The American government is not taking it lightly. They've come down here to do a postmortem exam. They have done another one in America. It was laid to rest August 1st. And they said the American government had given the federal government some time frame to make sure that they fish out the perpetrators, that they are seriously suspecting they were headsmen from their own investigations, and they are waiting for the government to do something about this. This is quite discouraging. See why people don't want to come back.
So while we are still dealing with insecurity issues, a 67-year-old Swedish scientist, Svante Pääbo, got the Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine. And what happened was he was able to extract DNA from 40,000-year-old bones, sequencing the genome of the Neanderthal, an extinct relative of a present-day human. So what he found was that we are very related to hominins and Homo sapiens. So hominins, according to him, he was able to establish that there were different kinds of humans that existed before we came. So what he did was he was able to establish the gene transfer occurred between extinct hominins and Homo sapiens, and the basis of his research has found that provided the basis for exploring what makes us uniquely human. So based on this now, we can then begin to explore the possibility that other kinds of humans existed, although we are the only type that exists today.
Now, yeah.
But according to, based on his findings, there's a possibility that there were
other types
that
of human
existed
beings
before we came, and
I
then
think they are
morphed
parallel
those.
worlds.
I believe
Well,
so.
those are conversations for another day.
I believe so.
But possibly, I don't know.
I
don't know.
believe so.
We've tried to go to a few
Yeah, I
planets.
can't even leave this test to say I'm going. I can
another
go from another country to another, but I will leave this
Mars,
our
I can't live
own
in Mars.
Earth.
Maybe somebody's trying to get us to Mars. Okay, let's move
Oh,
on.
you are going?
No. I'm good here. let's move on to Daily Sun. PDP G5 gives Atiku conditions for support. Ohaneze insists on Igbo president. FG considers China's newly certified plane for Nigeria Air. Rivers APC tackles Southwest governors over romance with Wike. Nigeria needs leaders with capacity, says Gbajabiamila. Police to probe attack on Obi supporters, says PPRO. And presidency PFN advises Nigerians on candidates and parties to vote for. Okay, which story are we taking?
The police PRO in Lagos said that, you know, that they would investigate the mob attack on the Labour Party flag bearers at the Oshodi Park. So the witness account was that they were protesting or doing a rally at Oshodi, and that, you know, they had their flags, and that because of that, the touts attacked them. The person that was giving the account said that once one of them was picked up, he ran, took a cab, but before he was able to get out of the park, they found the cab, brought him and beat him with that tout. They beat them to pulp. They were about to lynch them before a courageous soldier rescued them from that attack. And he said he kept hearing the Oga at the park insisting, you know, that they should be burnt, that they should be lynched, they should beat their Luwen, that kind of thing.
Supporters of...
The supporters of the Labour Party presidential candidates who were, you know, walking around rallying with the flags. And the police bureau of Lagos says that as soon as they get an official report on that, they will do an immediate investigation of that, and that they will bring the culprits to book.
Okay, go ahead.
They should do so fast. So the Speaker, House of the Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, in Abuja yesterday, was speaking at the opening ceremony of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. And he said that the country is in desperate need of leaders with capacity and character to govern it. He said the rest of the world is changing. Every part of the world is currently experiencing one change or the other. And the consequences of these changes will depend on how the country responds and the quality of decision that we make, especially during this political climb. So he went ahead to say, so the theme for the event was youth leadership and the future of democracy, harnessing the power of young people in Nigeria. He said some of these changes we're having now are technological, others are economical, others are political, but there's a deal of demographic and population change happening at the same time. And we need leaders that are ready to, you know, jump on this change and make something out of it. He said the former world order is no longer working. There's all a similitude of the disruption of the rule or the old world order. And right now, we need people who have capacity to manage the current trends that are coming up in order to move our country forward. So basically, let's vote wisely.
Okay, so the chairman of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Peter Mbam, was speaking in Ebonyi State yesterday and was saying categorically that they are insisting that the next president must be from the southeast geopolitical zone. According to him, that they haven't backtracked on this insistence. They're saying that they are disappointed and utterly disappointed in the way the PDP and the APC dribbled the southeast during the presidential primaries. And that... Indeed, that he also blamed some of the Igbo political leaders and delegates who sold their votes for money and voted against their candidates. However, they are still on course to have an Igbo presidency, and they are still asking that they believe in one Nigeria. They don't believe in secession, But however, they do believe that the Indigbo must not be marginalized and should be given the support for presidency this time around. Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Vanguard. Anger wells up in APC over party leaders win Wike. Anxiety over composition of subcommittees, release of timetable. List of national honors nominees fake, says federal government. 2023, we beg God to give us the best amongst Atiku, Tinubu, and Obi. Husband ties wife to well over alleged infidelity. Boyfriend escapes. Mina Bida highway collapses again. Travelers were stranded. An irresponsible political leadership, reason for Japa syndrome, says Catholic Archbishop of Ibadan.
I took the truck driver story. His name is Muyiwa Sikiru. So he works in out of Akure, and he was away for 3 months. He left his wife in Akure in the Oke-Aro area to stay with their 3-year-old kids while he would go and work, come back. So when he came back now, neighbors told him that his wife has been shacking up with one guy.
In his house.
In his house. So he went mad and ran into the house, dragged his wife out of the house, and tied her to the well. The boyfriend was in the shower, heard him screaming, just Japa.
Are you serious? So you didn't catch the guy?
He didn't catch the guy.
See, calculation is better. It should have been calm.
Why would he tie with an adult, a grown woman?
My wife now.
So that she will not aid the escape.
No.
So I don't know why he tied her, but then they all landed up in the police station and he's saying that they must find that boyfriend and they must charge him.
Yeah.
He should also be charged for assault. You shouldn't tie somebody, human being. On what basis? Yes, assault now. How are you going to tie a grown person?
I'm thankful that the neighbors didn't let him harm her. Yeah. So it was just the tying. That can be sorted, please.
It's wrong.
That's why you need to always relax. This is a crime of passion.
Exactly, and you will get away with
Nobody
this
a crime of passion. But why
you don't kill somebody.
It's the truth. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not judging.
I'm just
saying it's a crime of passion.
A woman made a mistake.
Your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, you left her in the house.
Made a mistake.
Now she wants to do rubbish. She came to the house with the rubbish. She shouldn't have. She disrespected him.
It's not our hot topic, please. Can we read this? Let's focus on
They say the list of national nominees where we read yesterday with pride is fake. The presidency, Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs say it's fake. That they will not agree that, that even though the president is going to do, national honors by 11th of October, but this list is not the real one.
The authentic list.
And so Nance is already protesting the one that came out. That imagine the Minister for Education that under him, ASU cannot say they've completed a session honors in a year, is nominated for national honors.
They wouldn't even. Someone that was listening to the radio today, they said they nominated the president's doctor. So the guy on the radio was saying, president's doctor, okay. He's the one that has been treating him in London.
Abroad, exactly, I agree. I agree, because I don't think there's a doctor here.
So quickly, Mina, the Bida-Mina highway has collapsed for the second time this year following the heavy rainfalls, and there is now forcing the users, commuters, to take bush paths to go to their different destination. Said it's become an annual ritual for the bridge to be collapsing, and that's around Sabungida village, a few kilometers away from Mina, the state capital. So it collapses every rainy season. Now, the road is a major highway linking motorists traveling from the southern part of the country to the north, especially from Lagos, Kwara to Niger, Abuja. And the present administration had awarded a contract to construct 100-kilometer road to Dantata and Sawoy in 2018. They had an elaborate ceremony and they put commissioning, and they put about 20 billion for this, and yet we still have the road collapsing every rainfall. It says since the takeoff of the project, only about 6 kilometers of the road out of the 89 kilometers have been graded, with only about 4 kilometers asphalt, asphalt that was laid.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So they're asking that the federal government does something quickly about this. They need to do the road so that people can
Let
have
me just quickly take
access.
the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see. How flood crippled the north. Lynched leaders were terrorists from Sudan. BEPU replies Kaduna government. 3-story building collapses in Ibadan. Those are the 2 news stories. Who has that?
Okay, I have the lynched herders. So 2 herders were lynched in the Benin Gwari Emirates area in Kaduna State. And the Benin Gwari Emirate Progressive Union says that although they are saddened by this lynching, but they've investigated it and found out that these herders are what they called terrorists from Sudan, and that they've always terrorized that area. They also appreciated the police for investigating the crime and, you know, investigating the lynching, but that they've found out that they are foreigners. I think that lynching in any form, there's nothing justifying it just because they're foreigners.
Yeah.
If they are arrested,
They're criminals.
Just because.
But then they escape.
No.
This is a topic to talk. This is a conversation.
You know, it could
we
have
should
been worse. They were lynching, thinking they were lynching headers. And it could have been an innocent
farmer.
And there could be reprisals, and you then have continuous back and
and
forth,
forth.
costing lives there.
That's why it's always good to hand them over to the security
Exactly.
officials. Yeah,
This
makes
help yourself is a
You're right,
problem.
you're right. That's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, we start with our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.